Hey guys, so I have been asked to do a tutorial on how I do my car freshies. Now I am still very new to car freshies, so I'm still learning, but this is all stuff that I have learned from watching Wendy from Gypsy Soul Tribe and from some other freshie creators. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive into what I do. And if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. If I don't know the answer, I will either let you know or I will research it and then come back to you and let you know. So, but yeah, just this is what I have learned so far on doing car freshies. So the first thing I learned is the ratio. So you do 8 ounces of beads to 2 ounces of oil. Or if it is a colored oil, like this one here is called Very Vanilla from Stay Fresh with Peanut. This is a yellow colored oil. You do 8 ounces of beads to 1 ounce of oil. So I'm gonna bring you guys down and make sure you can see my scale. So I'm gonna get my jar here. So I use a jar for measuring out my beads. And I know you can't see the scales over here, but I tared it so it's down to 0, so it's not counting this in the weight. And then I have my big bag of beads. This was 5 pounds of beads that I got from Stay Fresh with Peanut. And then I just tip it over and I just pour slowly so that I don't have beads bouncing all over the place. And this I will go to, I'm actually going to do 16 ounces of beads because I'm going to do a double batch. So it'll be 16 ounces of beads to 2 ounces of oil. I'm hoping I have enough room in this for 16 ounces, so we're going to kind of wait and see if I have enough room for this. Oh yeah, looks like I have plenty of room. I'm already up to 13 ounces. I'm going to have to order some more beads. Whoop. So 16 ounces is 1 pound. So and I went over a little bit, so I'm going to take out some beads to get down to that even number. A little bit more. There we go. Now I have an even 1 pound or 16 ounces. And then we're going to pour this in there and we're going to do, oops, actually, I have, are you going to make your mind if you're going to be over or not? I'll take out just a little bit more just to be on the safe side. All right. So then you unscrew your cap, whoop, and I lost the red part that goes to it. And you just pour it in there until you have 2 ounces. And I just kind of try to keep an eye on both of them so I don't have oil going all over the place. All right, so now it's at 1 pound, 2 ounces. So now all you have to do is you take your lid and you screw it on really tight. Bring you guys back up. So you screw it on really tight and you see all that oil down there. So you just go like this and you just shake it really good until you have all that oil dispersed into your beads. And the length of time that it takes for the oil to completely soak into your beads can vary. I have found that it usually takes 3 to 4 days. But I have noticed that with since I'm not using as much oil with the colored oil, it takes maybe a day less than my other one. But see how I got it all in there, nicely dispersed. And so the other thing you'll do is you'll come down, you'll want to make sure you check it like 2 to 3 times a day and just kind of give it a good shake. And make sure that oil is getting dispersed through all of your beads. And once the beads are no longer sticking to the sides of your jar and they're rolling around very freely, then you'll know that you have enough oil in there and it's completely soaked in and it'll be ready to bake. So once I'm at that point, I will show you how I measured into the molds and then how I color them with pigment and the oven part of it. So that'll be part 2. Hey guys, so I'm working on the tutorial for doing car freshies, and I know in this last little section here that you just saw, I said that when you do colored oils, it's an 8-to-1 ratio. Well, I was browsing on Stay Fresh with Peanut, website because I was looking for other scents and stuff that I want to be able to add to my wish list to get. Right now, between that and the molds that I want to get, I'm up to about $300 in my cart. That's just going to sit there for a while until I can afford it. But anyway, I was looking at some of the other scents that were, they said they were yellow tinted, so it would be obviously a colored oil. And I was looking at their information on the scents down below, and it still said an 8:2 ratio. So 8 ounces of beads to 2 ounces of oil. So it got me wondering about the very vanilla scent that I told you was an 8:1 ratio. So I went back to that one, and yep, it's an 8:2 ratio. So basically what I'm just trying to say is always check the information, description of whatever fragrance oils you're using to find out what the ratio is. I know I had learned or had been told that when you use colored oils, it's an 8:1 ratio, but apparently that's not true for every company. So just make sure you're checking the company that you're getting your oils from, whether it's Stay Fresh with Peanut or it's another company. I know I've heard of some other companies. So I know there's one like in Texas. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I know it's Texas based. But just check their description, check what they say their ratio is. So it may be different. But I'm getting ready this afternoon, hopefully to work on some more freshies. So I'm going to be adding more to this tutorial, and then once it's all done, I'll get it all cut together. Thank you. My brain. Cut together, and then you'll have a full tutorial. And then I'm hoping one night to be able to go live, whether it's on Facebook or TikTok too and stuff. So, but at least this way you guys will have a tutorial, and I'll also be posting it onto my YouTube channel for you guys. All right. Hey guys, so the last part of the video that you saw was me measuring out my beads with the oil and then letting it soak. These ones took a little bit longer from that video because I did a double batch, so it took a few more days for them to fully cure. And as you can see, I've already used some of them. So these ones here, I do not have enough to do a full mold. So what I'm going to do is I have this mold here, and I'm going to color these, and then I'm going to pour them in here, and these will be my samples that I will give to customers. So we're going to go ahead and get that done, so give me a second. So I'm going to use this Maui pigment from Glitterz, and what I'm going to do is, since I'm going to use all of these in here with the same color, I'm just going to add the pigment right into this jar, because after I'm done, I could just take this jar upstairs and wash it and be good with it. So I'll bring you guys down, move that out of the way for the moment so you can see what I'm doing. You don't need a whole lot of pigment, so I just do just about that much, and I dump it in there. And then normally I do this in like sandwich baggies, and then I zip it up and then shake it up to all of the pigments in there. But like I said, I'm doing this all in the same color, so it's just as easy to do it in the jar. And you just shake, 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 shake your booty. Just kidding, guys. So you just want to make sure you shake it really, really well, and then you just check it. If it is at the colored that you want it, then you are good. Okay, so as you can see, it's just lightly coated. It has a really nice, like, sea type, water type look to it. So I love the color that this is. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys down so you can see what I'm doing here. So you can see the mold, and then I'm just gonna gently pour them into the mold so that you don't have beads going all over the place. And then I just gently pack it down in here. And any stray beads that come out, I just pick them up and stick them back into the molds. And we'll see how many that I can actually make with this, because I have not used this mold yet for freshies. I had actually bought it for something else and then never actually used it. So, but it's a perfect size to do like samples that you can, if someone orders something else from me, then I can just include it in their order as a free sample to try and garner some more business. Or I will be able to take it with me to the farmer's market and hand them out to those that visit the booth. I'll just put it in a basket or something that says free samples, and they can just pick their own sample and then include your business card or something in there, and then if they like it, then they know how to get a hold of you to order a full-size Freshie. But these will be a perfect size, so they will get a really good sample of the scent and just get an idea of what you can offer. I already have several sample sizes of the very vanilla, so now this is the this is more very vanilla. So I'm gonna have more samples of these that I can use, and then my Live Fresh here, I will, whatever I have left over that won't fit into a mold, I will also use as samples. Whoops, as I just kicked a whole bunch of these beads out. So I had almost enough to do a full thing here. So this one here, obviously you can see it's not as full, so it won't be as thick as the other ones, but that's okay. It should still be big enough for people to get a good sense of the smell. So from here, sorry, my ring light's being wonky. So from here, I will take this mold upstairs and I will be preheating my oven at 345 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I'll stick this into the oven once it's preheated and let this cook for 14 minutes. And then I will check it after that 14 minutes to see, make sure it's melted enough. And the way I do that is I'll take like either a popsicle stick or a metal spoon, and I just gently tap the top of the Freshie, and as long as none of the beads are sticking to it and popping off of the Freshie, then I know it's fully baked and I can take it out of the oven. If it's still kind of coming off with the popsicle stick or the spoon, then I know that it needs to go back in, and I do them at 1 minute intervals. Thank you. Sorry, my brain is not wanting to function tonight. So that's the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and pause you guys, and then I will do a quick like video of me doing the oven part, and then after that, once it's baked, we'll let it completely cool down, and once it's completely cool, then I can pop it out of the mold and see what it looks like. So that's the next step. Alright guys, so my Freshies have all been baked and they are now cool enough where I can go ahead and pop them out of their molds. So that's what it looks like. So now we have a bunch of little samples as I'm getting the rest of these popped out that I can put into little baggies to give to people. And as you can see, this one here is a lot thinner because that was the one I didn't have enough beads to fill up the entire mold. So as you can see, the thickness of it is a lot thinner, but you can still get the smell out of it. So, but yeah, so I was able to get a bunch of these that I'll be able to put into where do I have my baggies? Here they are. So I have a bunch of these. I think these are 4x6s size bags. So I'll just stick them right in here. It'll keep the scent because these are scent proof. So once you get them zipped up, they keep the scent for forever. And then I'll just label this with the scent on it. Hey guys, so I am back with the final step of what I do with my Freshies, and it is decorating time. So what I use for my glue is heavy duty resistant or whatever liquid fusion. I've tried a few other things. The only other thing that I found that I like semi as well as this is UV resin. But even that, sometimes I had issues with it. So I just like to stick with the liquid fusion. It goes on really well. It has nice coverage. I don't feel like I have like missing pieces in it. So I just put it a little bit in one of these big needle tip ones, and I just put it onto my mold, let it dry. It dries really fast. Once it's dried, then I will make sure that I didn't miss anything I'll finish blowing on any of the stray glitter to make sure it's all off. And then, as you can see in this one, I just now sprayed this with matte clear spray paint from Rust-Oleum, and I usually do either like a couple of thin layers, or I just do like one heavy spray, go over it a couple times, make sure it's nice and covered. Once that is dried and the smell is gassed off, then I can put it inside of my little bags, and this will keep your scent for your Freshies smelling super fresh for a very long time, because it is airtight, so the smell is not going to get out. So even if you don't sell your Freshies right away, this will keep your Freshies smelling just like you had just baked it the other day for, I don't know how long exactly yet, because obviously I'm just starting out, so I haven't been doing them that long, but I've heard from other people in other Freshie groups that I've been a part of on Facebook that it can keep them smelling super fresh up to a year. I'm still going to be figuring that out myself as I'm getting into this more and seeing how long it actually does last for. But that's what I've heard. So, like I said, anything that I say, always do your own research too, just to make sure that what I'm saying is correct. And if I find out that what I've taught you is incorrect, then obviously I will come back and adjust that. But like I said, I'm still learning how to do this, so it's kind of new to me. But we're going to go ahead and bring you down. So this is a deer one, and majority of the time when I do Freshies, I will not use chunky glitter because it does not work with like this detailed design. You will not be able to use chunky glitter on this and make it look decent. So, but this one is just a blank slate. It's just completely flat, so you can do your own design to it. So I have this chunky glitter that I'm going to try out with it. So what I do is I have these folders, and I'll set my Freshie inside of it so that when I get done with my glitter, I can put it all in the center and then put it back into the container, and it makes it a lot easier for cleanup. So I'm going to start out with the body first, and with this, actually, I'm going to go ahead, instead of just using my needle, I'm going to use the big one, because I don't need to be as precise with the needle because there's no detail on this. So this is just basically putting a bunch of glue everywhere, and then I'll take a popsicle stick and spread it out to make sure I have nice coverage. Alright. So you want to make sure you get it pushed all the way to the sides so that you don't have any random spots of your Freshie that's not covered by glitter. And because I put quite a bit on here, it's very easy to maneuver and to get it into the spots that you need it to be in. And I also like the liquid fusion too, because it gives a nice raised look to your tumbler, or to your glitter. So it gives this really nice, almost like a domed look to your Freshie. And I can show you that here in a second too, when on a sunflower one that I did. It gives it an extra added dimension to it, and you don't have to worry about it looking flat and uninteresting. So as you can see, this is going on really easily. It moves around fairly well, so you just want to make sure you have enough glue on there that you're not like having to be too thin to it. Now up here where the antlers is going to start getting attached to, I'm just kind of going a little bit into the antler, but I'm going to be doing kind of an ombre look, so I don't want to go completely up there and have like a straight looking line. So I'm just going to stop it right here, and then I'm going to do like an ombre, and then I'll do the rest with the other one. So I have 3 different chunkies. I have Urban Camel, which is going to be the body, and I'm going to do Fatigues for the antlers, and then Nate's blend, which is my husband's custom blend that he did, has a little bit of everything. It has the Urban Camel, it has the Fatigues, and it has some of the some fine glitter in here as well. So I'm going to do that for the ombre part. Alright, so here we go. I'm with my chunky. I always like to shake it up to make sure it's all mixed really well, and then I'll open it up and then just plop it on here. And because it is chunky, it doesn't like to come out of the container quite as well, but You just want to make sure you have it all nice and covered. And then what I do is I just go like this and tap it, tap, 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 tap. And that's what it looks like. Now with this one, I just kind of go around the sides to make sure that chunky is not like hanging over the sides too much. Kind of like what you do with the tumbler. With a tumbler, you just kind of pat it down a little bit. Get any stray chunky bits that need to be pat it down type thing. Alright, so now I'm going to take off my cover. And then any stray strands that stays in here, I just take my little vacuum and I vacuum it all up, so that I'm not contaminating my next bottle of glitter. Alright, so now that that is done, I go ahead into my next section. This one is where I will pull out the needle because it's a little bit more detailed and I want a little bit more control over my glue. And I usually use 2 hands just because it is a little bit tougher coming out of the needle tip because it is a thick glue. And with my right wrist still recovering from surgery, it really can't handle a whole lot of extra pressure and stuff. Alright, so you can see I'm not adding a bunch, I'm just adding a little bit right here, kind of going over some of the glitter that's already on there and just making sure I have that nice coverage. And then we're going to use Nate's blend. Again, I'm going to shake it up really good and we're going to throw that on here. Okay, like as you see. So then I just kind of tap, 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 just very lightly touching it just to kind of tap it down. And then get this back into the bottle. And this all this glitter here I got from Glitterz Makes It. I have not bought from them in a very, very long time. They were one of my very first glitter companies that I bought from, and then shortly after I found them, I found my go-to glitter company, which is Wicked Glitterz. So I have not really bought a whole lot from them again, but they always have really awesome sales. They're usually almost all the time 25 to 30% off sale on their glitters. So if you join their Facebook group or follow their Facebook page, it always tells you their current deals. And I have some of their glow-in-the-dark glitters, which is really pretty, which I've done on the Freshies. Any of the Freshies that I have, that you may have seen that have like the glow-in-the-dark on it, that is all from Glitterz Makes It. And those ones are mainly on the sunflowers because, again, it's a chunky glitter, so I can't do it on the detailed stuff because the chunky just does not play well with the detailed designs. I tried it on a boot once and it ended up looking absolutely horrible, so I had to wipe it off immediately. And so anytime you have a bigger blank space where you can fit chunky glitter on, then that's when you can use the chunky. Okay. And if you get too much glue on here, you can easily just scrape it off. But as long as you're not squeezing too hard and you're being cautious about it, most of the time I do not ever have to scrape off the glue. It just adds a little extra dome look to it. And like I don't know if you can see, but there's a spot right here where the edge of the deer is blank. So I'm just going to take this and just kind of shove it to this edge a little bit more. Alright, now I'm going to go in with Fatigues. And this deer here is in Macintosh Apple Scent. So that's kind of why I'm doing more of a guy colors on this, because I know guys would be more inclined to buy a Macintosh Apple Scented Freshie than some of my other scents that I have. But there you go. He is now all done. And he was very quick, so like without having all the details of like doing a turtle, like this turtle took me a little bit longer, obviously because we have so much details. And I did that one as an ombre with a beach look. So that takes a little bit longer, but because this one is kind of a blank slate, definitely does not take me very long to decorate it. Alright, and I'm going to go have to yell at my kids here in a second because they're hammering with my hammer when I typically told them not to. So now that I'm done, I just kind of go and clean up my area of the stray glitters. And this cute little owl here I got off of Amazon. It was actually a Christmas gift last year from my family. I'd had it in my wish list and they went on there and bought it for me, which I absolutely love it. It works freaking amazing to pick up all these stray glitters and things like that that's on your work table. And I love it. I think it was only like maybe $14, but yeah. So, and then the other thing with your liquid fusion is you want to make sure, because it is a glue and it's kind of like the same idea with like epoxy, you don't want to leave it like this because it will run down. So once you are done getting your glitter and stuff on here and you like it, make sure it's sitting flat, because otherwise your glue can run down and then your glitter will run down with it. I've had that happen a couple times to me because I wasn't paying attention. But anyway, so yeah, this is kind of like my tutorial on how I do stuff. So comment below or message me or whatever, let me know if this is helpful to you, anything that I could do to improve it. I'm working on trying to get a better video recording setup so that I'm not like this but having a full screen, especially for when I'm uploading this to YouTube. But I'm still working on trying to figure out a better way of videotaping my tutorials. So, but like I said, I'm still fairly new to this. I'm learning, but I've had several people who ask me how I do things. So this is what I do. Let me know if it was helpful. Alright guys, thank you so much.